Committee. And also with us is Ron McDowell, TUV Deputy Leader and Councillor. Ron McDowell, this was a democratic decision. It had a consultation. What is your issue with it?
We have issues with this, and good morning, everyone. We have a few issues on this based around the costing of it. So we've been told that there's a £1.9 million initial outlay to get this Irish language policy up and running. But after that, there's no costings. And the only place then that Belfast City Council can have a pool of money is from ratepayers' pockets. And we don't know how much is going to come from ratepayers' pockets. We don't know where it's going to come from. And we don't know where it's going to be, where it's going to go to in the future. Will there be rates increases based on that? BBC
Radio Ulster was told last night by Michael Long that there would be careful oversight of costs going forward so that this didn't spiral out of control.
So Michael Long also spoke during the meeting and said that there was only going to be the £1.9 million outlay for this, but written within the policy paper, we're told that there is going to be a continuing budget for this. So Michael Long maybe needs to read the policy a wee bit closer. But my concerns would actually go beyond that and say, are we really building a genuinely pluralistic society where everybody's culture and heritage are represented in this? And that goes beyond the branding of clothing, which seems to be the sticking point. But this goes towards parks, graveyards, streets, refuge centres, clothing,
what would make Belfast a more pluralistic society than having both English and Irish on street signs included in logos? What is wrong with having both?
So English is a working language. It's the working language of the people, and it's just there as a matter of fact because it's what everyone speaks. It's how we do our business. It's a universal language. The introduction of Irish represents one minority language within the city, but there are other large minorities. I'm a person of Ulster British heritage, and my minority status isn't respected or protected.
Would you like Ulster Scots then? Is that the argument?
No, the argument is that I would have reservations around the costs, but where I have concerns is that huge areas of the city that don't have an Irish population, that aren't interested in Irish language or Irish culture or heritage items, which this is essentially. This isn't a working language, this is a heritage and culture item. We don't identify as Irish, and why should we therefore have Irish thrust upon us? Because it flies in the face of the Convention for the Protection of National Minorities, which is the framework that Belfast City Council used.
Given in terms of street signage to areas where people are more likely to speak Irish, does that give you any comfort?
This policy isn't about street signage. So street signage is a different category within Belfast City Council. So this is about parks and graveyards, refuge centres, clothing, branding and communication. One thing, and I never thought I would agree coming onto the radio this morning, is I would agree with Natasha when we look at that we should look at the Equality Commission and what they say on this. Because the Equality Commission recommends employers use sensitivity concerning displays wholly or mainly associated with one section of the community. And that's exactly what this policy is. This is a policy aimed at one section of the community. It leaves out hundreds of thousands of people within the city that don't identify as Irish. It doesn't cater for the division that it's going to bring within workforces. The consultation that took place found that 50% of Belfast City Council workers were uneasy with this policy. And then we go down to conversations, well, should we have an opt-out for workers within the city? Do we then find ourselves in a situation where a guy, perhaps, hypothetically speaking, from the Shankill working in West Belfast, chooses not to have Irish branding on his shirt and he stands out amongst his peers? Do we equally have someone from West Belfast working in the Shankill who does want it? We're creating divisions within workforces and we're not getting it right.
Is this not about parity of esteem? Is this not about fairness across our city?
Yes, and that's why I'm here. It's not fair. It's simply not fair. It's not fair that those who don't identify as Irish should have a culture and heritage item such as the Irish language, which is a treasure to the city, shouldn't have it foisted upon them when they don't identify as Irish. They don't see themselves as Irish, and there's no accommodation of their own identity anywhere to be seen across the city in such a manner as this.
Natasha, this morning, Ron, this one to you, I suppose. How much does the 12th celebration of unionist identity cost the ratepayer?
Absolutely nothing. The 12th of July is a privately funded event by members of the Orange Order.
But Orange Fest?
Orange Fest is a separate body which exists to create funding, and it is a registered business with. You can go on and Google and see who their directors are.
There is funding from the City Council, certainly around street cleansing after the clean-up operation.
Yeah, and it pales into insignificance towards the funding that goes towards the Irish language. The money that the 12th of July brings into businesses and tourism in Northern Ireland is an asset. And we showcase Northern Ireland, and it's really difficult.
And the culture of Irish language
we digress.
Is not an asset then?
I've already said that it is an asset. It is a cultural and heritage item that should be cherished and kept and promoted. Where people
but why is that not
such.
something that should be funded from within the council?
It should be funded, but until we're going to have a reasonable conversation, then I think we're going to butt heads.
Well, what is a reasonable conversation?
So a reasonable conversation is regarding people who are interested in it, who want to propagate it, how we can support them, how we can teach them to learn it in West Belfast. And for those who don't identify as Irish, give us the liberty to our own identity, our own culture, our own heritage and our own future.
The call-in method has been put in place. We understand that. How far along are you and your unionist colleagues with that?
So I think it's safe to say that by this morning we have the required number of signatures. We have also received 2 separate pieces of legal advice on that, and we believe we have a sound call-in, and we're going to be testing that very soon. It's going to be a call-in the likes of which we haven't done before, because I think traditionally we've been taking the opinion of the Belfast City Belfast City Solicitor as being definitive, and it's not. It's advisory. The final decision on whether something is worthy of a call-in or not lies with the councillors, so we're pretty confident in this one.
I think people would really need to have a look at, is it worth doing this? And the cost maybe that comes with it too.
I think maybe we'll then need to have a reasonable conversation, and that's the issue. We haven't been having reasonable conversations. Irish language has been weaponised, it's been politicised, it's been forced onto communities that don't want it. So when we have a reasonable conversation, then hopefully these things will go away.
What has been happening in Belfast City Council chamber if not reasonable conversations, Ron?
So anybody that was there last night would have seen a deterioration in decorum, I suppose. And maybe you've brought Natasha and I to a point of agreement this morning. Last night was a very volatile meeting. There was ill feeling, and there was a sense that from the unionist councillors anyway, was that they were being steamrolled on this and that their concerns weren't being taken seriously.
One thing that was levelled at you was, and the other unionist colleagues, was cultural subjugation.
Cultural subjugation. And you think that what we're looking at here is an Irish language policy being rolled out right across Belfast for every single person in the city, bar none, even for those that don't identify as Irish. And we've got to ask, where is our minority rights as Ulster British citizens within Belfast being respected, or is it being propagated?
Natasha, our minority